Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island preview. There's a new structure in the swamp and the Vikings are back. The Curse of Oak Island team unearths a new ancient structure in the swamp, and they learn more about how the Vikings may have traveled to the island. This week, the History Channel airs Season 11, Episode 18 of Oak Island, and the show is called May the Norse Be With You, an obvious clue that the Vikings/Norsemen will likely feature. In the meantime, Billy Gerhardt has uncovered yet another human-made structure in the swamp. On this occasion, it's a wooden wall. Geoscientist Ian Spooner is on hand to point out that the red clay found by the wall is the same material found under the stone roadway, which would push it further back in time. Some theories on the roadway date it back 500 years and more, which could mean that this wall is incredibly old, too. We already have structures such as the paved area dating back to 1200. So this new artifact is another piece of an increasingly complicated puzzle. The guys have spent the last couple of weeks exploring the possibility that Templar Knights visited the island in the 13th century and constructed several stone monuments, including Nolan's Cross, as markers for hidden treasure. And last week, a discovery of an artifact that may be linked to the Vikings led historian Doug Crowell to theorize about a collaboration between the Templar Knights and the Vikings. Did the Vikings and Templar Knights work together to bury treasure on Oak Island? Professor Adriano Gaspani stated previously that only the Templars would have the know-how to build such structures in alignment with the stars in the 13th century, and Doug pointed out that the Vikings are thought to have reached the east coast of the Americas long before Columbus. On tonight's show, the guys welcome another expert who fleshes out the theory that the Vikings did indeed have a working relationship with the Templars, a revelation that delights Rick Lagina. The History Channel episode synopsis reinforces the above by stating, the Brotherhood uncovers a new structure under the swamp, and a new theory suggests the Vikings worked with Templars to help them get to Oak Island. Lateral probe drilling set to begin at the garden shaft. The show has been awash with theories in the last few weeks, and viewers may be forgiven for wondering when they will get on with the digging. However, the Dumas miners are making steady progress in deepening and securing the garden shaft, and once that is done, they will begin lateral probing from the side. Dumas has already recovered a lot of wood beams suspected of coming from the elusive tunnel leading to the baby blob, so we can expect their probe drill to start following that line either this week or next. The Oak Island swamp has never been short on mystery. For centuries, the tangled patch of reeds, mud, and brackish water has been accused of holding secrets that connect to pirate caches, Templar vaults, and royal fortunes. But in the upcoming episode of The Curse of Oak Island, the swamp is preparing to deliver yet another surprise, and this time, the discovery is forcing the Laginas and their team to revisit one of the most provocative theories in the history of the island, that the Vikings may have left their mark here long before Columbus ever dreamed of crossing the Atlantic. The swamp reveals again. Rick and Marty Lagina have long suspected the swamp to be more than just a natural feature. Its odd triangular shape, man-made boundaries, and tendency to cough up mysterious artifacts have made it a focal point of the search. In past seasons, the team has unearthed everything from coconut fiber and ship's timbers to an enigmatic stone road that seems to cut directly into its heart. This season, though, the swamp is whispering louder than ever. After weeks of pumping, draining, and scanning with ground-penetrating radar, the team is astonished when an anomaly presents itself just beneath the muck. At first, it seems like yet another scattering of logs, possibly remnants of the mysterious stone roadway. But as the excavator digs carefully around the perimeter, a pattern begins to emerge. Wooden timbers, squared off with surprising precision, appear to form the outline of something unmistakably structural. Craig Tester, peering over the side of the pit with his engineer's eye, points out that the angles aren't natural. This isn't debris, he says. This is construction. For the Oak Island team, those words carry enormous weight. Over and over again, they've seen how deliberate design seems woven into the island itself. But this time, the placement suggests something unprecedented: the possibility of a building, perhaps a dock, a platform, or even a small fortress-like foundation, hidden in the swamp. A Viking connection. The revelation sparks debate in the war room, where Rick spreads out old maps of Nova Scotia, highlighting trails of history that stretch back far before the 1600s. Marty, ever the skeptic, wonders aloud, who would have built such a structure, and why bury it beneath a swamp? That's when archaeologist Laird Niven drops the bombshell. Based on preliminary with samples and tool marks, the construction bears resemblance not to colonial English or French craftsmanship, but to something older, much older. These cuts look consistent with Norse-style joinery, he explains, pointing to the way the logs interlock. We've already seen evidence that Vikings landed at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland around the year 1000. It's entirely possible their influence reached farther south than anyone's documented. The theory electrifies the room. Fans of the show will remember that Viking links to Oak Island have floated around for years, often dismissed as romantic speculation. Yet, if this swamp structure can be tied to Norse explorers, it could change the entire narrative, not just of Oak Island, but of North American history. Evidence mounts. The episode promises high drama as the team calls in specialists. Wood samples are whisked away for dendrochronology testing, which could pin down an exact year of construction. At the same time, Dr. Aaron Taylor and his archaeology crew begin sifting through the surrounding muck for artifacts. Almost immediately, the swamp begins to yield treasures. Fragments of iron that resemble rivets or nails, their composition unlike later European imports. A piece of pottery with a faint, weathered design. And most tantalizing of all, what may be part of an old Norse cloak pin. Gary Drayton, metal detector in hand, nearly jumps out of his waders when his machine signals a deep, strong target. Digging carefully, he lifts from the muck a corroded, blade-shaped object. Look at the shape of that. Could be a Viking Sikh's mate, he exclaims, holding it up to the light as the swamp water drips from it. For Rick, the find strikes an emotional chord. If this truly is Viking, he muses, then we're looking at the footsteps of explorers who stood here 1,000 years ago. That alone makes every shovel of mud worth it. A new chapter in the mystery. As the episode unfolds, tensions rise. Marty, ever cautious, warns that excitement should not outpace evidence. Could these artifacts have washed into the swamp by chance? Could later settlers have repurposed older tools? Still, the weight of possibility hangs heavy in the air.